Hey everyone, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It's Saturday, November 10th. Hope your weekend is going well. I want to talk a bit about the Bitcoin ETFs, which could potentially get approved, specifically the VanEck Bitcoin ETF. There's actually some new developments here that I personally did not know before, that VanEck is actually going to have a physically backed Bitcoin ETF. I actually thought the only ones who are doing that was Bakkt, which is, of course, owned by the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, ICE, partnered with Starbucks and Microsoft, and that's launching December 12th. However, Rand Neuner here of CNBC's Crypto Trader interviewed one of the guys, one of the directors there at VanEck, talking about the Bitcoin ETF in their submission, and he mentions it's a physical Bitcoin ETF, and he says it has a very high chance of being approved given VanEck's history. They have a very long history. You guys can look it up, going back to gold and different asset classes of getting ETFs approved. So this is a good sign. Now, I think there's some important things here, and I'm going to play a clip from the video of him talking about what's to come and give you a summary as well. Now, as I've stated in the past, I personally don't care about an ETF. It actually doesn't affect you and I, who are more of the retail investors. What it is for is certainly the institutional investors, and will open up more of the floodgates to get money into the crypto market. So that's why it's good. It's a catalyst that could spark a bull run, but it also brings in flood of more money, right? When you think of all the hype, you think about the news coverage that's going to happen on CNBC, Fast Money, Fox Business, Bloomberg, and so forth, that a Bitcoin ETF is now live and people are investing. That's going to spark retail investors to come in, more institutional investors to come in. So you have to understand that it is a catalyst. It doesn't affect you and I. And of course, some people, have talked about where it's kind of bad because of nature of ETFs. But like I said, it is a double-edged sword. I understand, but you need that catalyst to go to the next level, and I think that's what it is. So let me play you a clip here where Rand interviews, and it's not going to be too long, just so you can get the intro part of this.
Said and done, it's not these ETFs that the crypto community is banking on, but rather the ETF proposal that has been submitted by VanEck. Tonight I have Gabor Gurbacs joining me, and he is the Director of Digital Asset Strategy for VanEck. Gabor, you've got a big weight on your shoulders. You're the Director of Digital Asset Strategies at VanEck, and the whole crypto community has got their sights set on you guys, or their hopes set on you guys, for getting the first Bitcoin ETF. How close are you?
Well, America wants a Bitcoin ETF, so we're close. It really depends on the SEC whether and when they're going to approve it. The final deadline they can approve this ETF or deny it is in 2019. The next decision upcoming is December 29th this year.
Okay, so what?
So he said the next decision coming up for them is December 29th. But he says the SEC could delay it and review it in February. And that's why I believe guys like Mike Novogratz and a lot of the big players in the market have said they think the bull run's going to start till in February, Q1 of 2019. I think because they're all banking on this ETF, and the VanEck being one of the biggest, and there's also the CBOE. But the VanEck, which he's going to talk about, I did not know was a physically backed. So that is important. It's not just paper on paper here. It's physically backed, the same way Bakkt is doing their physical Bitcoin ETF. So let me play the rest of this for you guys.
What's happening on December the 29th, and what's the February date? What's the difference between the two deadlines?
So on the December 29th, the SEC may say that we need more time to make a decision on this ETF, and legally they can push it to the next deadline. The next deadline is the February one that I mentioned, at which point they need to make a final decision of yes or no.
Okay, now what makes you think that you're going to be successful? We've seen the SEC booting out many ETF proposals, including many from the Winklevoss brothers that have tried several times to get an ETF proposal through. What makes you think that yours isn't going the same way?
Well, there are a few reasons, Rand. One of them is just VanEck history of building the right market structure for asset classes. So in 1955, John VanEck, our firm's founder, built the first international stock mutual fund in the U.S. In 1968, he built the first gold equity fund, and in basically the past 60 years, we have built market structure and funds for harder to access investment instruments. So we're doing the same for Bitcoin. And it turns out it's actually not an easy question, an easy task to do. So our ETF, what sets it apart is it's a physical Bitcoin ETF, so it stays true to Bitcoin. You own the underlying. It's fully insured. So if there's any theft.
So, two major takeaways. It's a physical Bitcoin ETF and it's fully insured. So it has a great chance of being approved. And like as he mentioned, the history of VanEck, they have of course worked with the SEC. They have a lot of leverage, right? They have the cachet, they have the reputation. So the SEC may deny these other smaller guys who have not done it, like Winklevoss twins. They have nothing to do with ETFs in the past. So it was very easy for the SEC to be like, who the hell are you guys? Get out of here. Can they do that to VanEck? No. So that's why this is definitely important for us to keep an eye on. And like I said, I personally don't care about an ETF. I don't care, it's not going to affect me from a sense of investing. What it is going to affect is the bull run and the growth of the market and more money coming in, which is going to raise the value of the assets I hold so I can make a profit. That is why I'm talking about this. So I want to make sure you guys hear it directly from the horse's mouth. Now, I don't want to play the entire clip here, but someone did an article here, CCN, talking about summarizing, and the guy said, he says it could attract billions in new investment, and that is why the ETF is important and why we need to keep an eye on it, because we want more money to come in, so the value, and more people investing in this, so the value goes up. And you see the same video here with Rand Neuner, and he talks about this will certainly attract more money. So we have to be patient. These guys are waiting too. Guess what? The institutional money who bought over the counter are waiting as well. So don't become that Wall Street statistic of the sentiment, right? Where you're in despair and depressed, and you sell off, and then the market starts moving up. Don't become that statistic. The markets move in cycles, and there is some manipulation going on in the markets. So don't operate by your emotions. Look at the facts, which I'm trying to share here with you guys. So December 29th, let's see. The SEC could, of course, come out and say, hey, we'll approve these other ETFs or whatever before that. We don't know. No one has a crystal ball, but I'm just putting it out there because there's other ETFs. But the VanEck has a very high chance of course, getting approved based on the facts I just shared with you guys. So, like I said, big players like Mike Novogratz and so forth are thinking this is what's going to spark the bull run. Let's see. I still think, in my personal opinion, that Bakkt could certainly do it. If it's marketed well with Starbucks and Microsoft being involved and so forth, and they highlight, for example, New York Stock Exchange parent company, these things draw a lot of weight, right? They carry a lot of value because of the history and who they are. So Bakkt is, of course, scheduled to launch December 12th. So, and they will also have a physically settled Bitcoin ETF. So, and they will be a very large exchange both for retail investors and institutional, and of course providing a custody service. So, two catalysts I just mentioned here. Obviously, one a bit later. It'd be great if the SEC doesn't delay the December 29th review of the VanEck ETF and they just approve it in December. Especially, let's say Bakkt launches, right, and then we start seeing a bullish sentiment, the market's moving upward, and then they approve the VanEck ETF. It's going to be a great December, but let's see. Even if they delay it, guys, to February, that's okay. That's not a long time to wait. Not like we have to wait, a whole another year or 2 years or something. But once again, I'm trying to share the facts with you guys so you're informed as an investor. You know how to plan and think about things as they what's upcoming. So we also have scheduled for 2019, the big players who announced they're getting in the market, which is Fidelity, right? And of course, we know how big they are, launching in 2019. Also, TD Ameritrade launching in 2019. Now, we heard from guys like Ric Edelman, who's like a Wall Street legend, getting into crypto advising, where he's going to help people to essentially invest in crypto. He's well known. So, Maybe. I'm just saying maybe. I don't know. Like I said, no one has a crystal ball here. We can't predict the future. But we look at the facts and make educated guess. If it doesn't happen, the bull run doesn't happen between now and December, the end of December, we can, I think for sure, mark it as Q1 2019, February. And especially you're going to see more players coming into the market. This is just the the beginning. Expect to see Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and all these other big institutions, your JP Morgans and so forth, launching something. So, but we have confirmation of who's getting in, and that's what we can go off of and make educated guess. So you got some big players in Wall Street getting ready to come in early 2019. No hard dates yet. I also believe what could still be a catalyst, even though xRapid went live and they announced the 3 companies that are going to go live this quarter. I still think once those 3 companies turn on their switches, so to speak, for xRapid, and they have the volume pumping in and the media starts picking up, I think it could still be something that contributes to the bull run or spark it. So if you recall, it will be used, they're talking about xRapid, by payment providers Mercury FX, Cuallix, as well as cooperative financial firm Catalyst Corporate Federal Credit Union. They have a very long name, Ripple said. And like I said, once they turn their switch on and the volume starts moving and they do their PR and the media picks it up on it, it could certainly still be a bull run, spark a bull run, especially with Bakkt scheduled to launch December 12th. So let's see what happens, guys. I know some people, I see them get frustrated, but no one has a crystal ball. Like I said, if I could predict the future, I wouldn't be doing videos. I'd be a millionaire already because I would have won the lottery maybe 10 times already because I would be able to predict the future. So you have to be realistic here, guys. The good thing about this is we have facts. We have news of who's coming in the market. We're hearing directly from the horse's mouth, from VanEck, what they're doing and setting up their physically backed Bitcoin ETF that's insured. And we have some dates from, as far as what the SEC could do, or we could hear from them. So my goal here is to share the facts with you guys and highlight what are the catalysts that can launch the bull run. So you're prepared, you understand what's happening, you're just not drifting in the winds of how the market moves up and down. As I've said before, it's going to be a roller coaster ride up to the bull run because there is manipulation. And of course, the market moves in cycles. You have a run-up, correction, run-up, correction, run-up. That's how it operates. So you have to understand these things. And actually today we're seeing a little bit of green. I'm not saying this is anything significant, but we're not in a continued downward trend. There was, of course, a pullback, and that's fine. You have to understand these market cycles. But like I said before, map out in a spreadsheets your price points you want to cash out on. So when the bull run starts, you're already, okay, I'm going to sell this amount of Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum and cash out at that price and do it on later on. Now, I'm not a financial investment advisor. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, giving my opinion. So you do your own research and what works best for you. Something I think also what's going to be great in 2019, once a Bitcoin ETF is approved, guess what's going to happen next? We're going to have ETFs for the other top cryptos, Ethereum, and of course, XRP, and so forth. So Bitcoin is going to open the door. So I know some of you, like for example, I know a lot of you guys who watch my videos are XRP holders, and I hold a variety of crypto. Majority of my bag is XRP, but I hold Bitcoin and Ethereum and so forth. I believe there will be multiple winners coming out of the bull run and the market as it grows. But Bitcoin is the brand that's well known. Ethereum is well known as well. And that's what's going to, like I said, move the train forward, open the door, so to speak, for more money to come in. And then, of course, that's going to go to Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and all their altcoins. So you have to look at this holistically, and we got to think of it from a business standpoint, economics, and who's getting involved and what companies and what has to happen here. Because if we want this market to grow, it has to go into the mainstream. It has to, it can't circumvent, a lot of the existing processes. If you want money in this market for it to grow, for you to make money, then you have to be patient. You have to understand the moving parts here, the SEC, the ETFs, and all these things, right? And keep in mind, we are trying to attract big money. The ETFs will certainly do that. Trust me. And like I said, the VanEck guy, like he said, it could usher in, billions of dollars. And I absolutely believe that, especially when you see these major players. I mean, Fidelity, 7.2 trillion in client assets, 7.2 trillion. That is so much money. And of course, TD Ameritrade. And get ready for when Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan and Bank of America and all these guys launch their own thing. So big things are coming. I hope you be patient. Don't operate by emotions. I see people getting frustrated. If, I understand people need money and they want money, but if you're moving, your thing is, oh my God, I need to get money by this, and the crypto market better move up. That's the wrong attitude. You're going to get burned. You're going to get depressed. You're going to be disappointed. But as long as you think about it, have the right perspective. I always tell you guys, go back and look at the charts. Look at where we've come from since 2009 for even other cryptos, right? Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and so forth. How they've grown over the years. It takes time, and there's sometimes very long bear markets. And those who are patient, it pays off for them. And especially, we've heard about the guy who bought pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin, and other people who sold too early. We see the tweets like, oh, Bitcoin hasn't moved in the past 6 months, I'm selling. But those who waited, those who were patient, made a lot of money in the last bull run. I made some money, but not as much as I wish I did, because I didn't fill my bags. And part of it was I was still learning about crypto, and there was not these type of news items like, oh, Fidelity getting into crypto. If that was the case back when I got in late 2016, hell yeah, I would have filled my bags a bit more, and I would have certainly made a lot of money off the last bull run. But not to say I didn't make money, but a lot more, where it would have been life changing. And but you live and you learn, and I'm not gonna make that mistake another time. I've slowly accumulated in the dips, have my bag filled, and I'm waiting for the next run up and the other run ups and so forth. And excuse me, guys. Throat got very dry there. Apologize to those of you who have headphones on. But like I said, perspective. Look at where we're at right now compared to before. And you can do this for every other crypto in the market, guys. So keep holding. And I hope you understand what's going on here with these ETFs and why we need it. You and I personally don't need it, but we need it for the institutional money. And the big players are getting in, and it's a good time to be in crypto, even though we're in a bear market, because this year was the infrastructure build out of all these players getting in, custody services, acquisitions, mergers, new services, and all that. So what do you guys think about this? Fingers crossed, SEC moves faster than recommended. If not, hopefully they approve something by December 29th. If not, February. That's the deadline for sure, the hard deadline. And of course, Bakkt launching December 12th. We got Fidelity, TD Ameritrade. We got some big Wall Street guys. 2019 will be the year that they launch a lot of their services. And I'm still believing that xRapid, these three clients, and potentially some others, who knows, when they go live and the volume starts moving and the marketing takes place, because there's one thing to say, hey, they're going to use it, and there's another thing is saying they are using it right now, right? It's very different, especially in the crypto market. I think it's maturing to a point of, okay, let's see the working product, not just the white paper. Don't just say it. Let's see if they actually go live. Ripple will have these clients going live, and then of course a lot more in 2019. So keep holding, be patient. Love to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Please help share this video if you think it's helpful. My goal is to educate people, provide facts, and someone who may be new to the market want to understand what's happening, and people who may be confused and in their emotions a bit, as to what's going on in the market. I would hope you would help share this, and thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to you all later.